Come cruising with the Clemons for some tips on visiting the Northern Cascades in a day.
Alright guys, this episode is about the Northern Cascades and doing it in a day, but of course you know that because you saw the thumbnail already.
Right, so the reason we're talking right now, and instead of showing you our usual pretty picture kind of thing, is we thought people should know we clearly didn't do our research.
Yep.
And we were coming from the
Chelan
Valley. Which, if you've never been, is absolutely gorgeous area. It's full of orchards and wineries and stuff. But we were coming from there, and we were coming on the Cascades Byway. So we assumed that we would be driving past it and see all these beautiful places, which we did.
Yep.
It's a beautiful drive. Highly recommend if you're in the area. However, we started seeing all these cars, which were presumably at trailheads, and we would see signs for trailheads.
Yep.
And we're like, cool, there's lots of like hiking spots here.
Right.
And then we are coming down the road and we're in the mountains, and I see this like beautiful like turquoise like looking water, and I'm like recognize it from people's photos on social media, and I think, oh, that must be the lake that everybody talks about, Diablo Lake. And we didn't stop at the overlook because we had the camper with us, and you know, we're always kind of weary about like, will we fit in there kind of things, even though a lot of places do have RV parking nowadays.
Yep.
We kept on going because we still had like 45-minute drive from there.
Yeah, so at this point we're like halfway through the park and we don't even realize we're in the park because there was no entrance sign from coming in from the east side. So, you know, we drove through basically the whole park wondering like, is this it? Is this not it?
Yeah, so then we finally get to the other end and we see this, you know, not your typical, it's actually a really beautiful like entrance sign for a national park. And we realize, oh, we just drove through the park.
Yeah, so on our exit out of the park, we realized, yes, we were indeed in the park. Mm-hmm. So that's how quick you can go through the park and not even realize that you're there. So
yeah, so we wanted to let you guys know, do your research a little bit more than we did.
Yeah.
And that if you're driving on the Cascades Byway, you're most likely at some point in the park. We had already made plans to take a boat tour of Diablo Lake through the North Cascades Institute. They have this awesome boat ride that highlights the Skagit River hydroelectric project, which powers part of Seattle, Washington. And we'll put a link down there to their website. They only run it, I believe, in the summer months, like late spring into early fall. And I think we were on the second to last day that they did the boat ride.
Correct.
And it's a wonderful boat ride. It's only about an hour. They talk about the hydroelectric project, you know, how that got started, what's the purpose of it. You see two of the dams. Mm-hmm. The water is gorgeous. You learn about history of the area. And then at the end, you get this amazing meal that is locally prepared. And I would love to show you a picture of it.
Yeah, it was so good.
But it was so good.
We ate it.
Yes.
So,
but I'll tell you, it had like homemade hummus,
Yep.
summer sausage. There was some kind of like homemade kind of like fruit bar, vegetables.
Local cheeses.
Yeah, local cheese. It was amazing. I mean, I would say that even most of the kids ate it.
Yeah,
well, except for Cooper, because you know how Cooper is. He doesn't eat anything.
Right. So if there's one thing you're going to do in this park, I would highly recommend doing the boat tour. It was awesome.
Yeah, and at the very, minimal, I would suggest that you visit the Institute, because I believe that's where you can also rent a kayak, or if you have your own kayak, definitely spend some time doing that. The water is absolutely just stunning, so it's worth that if you're visiting to get on the water in some capacity. Yep. So, with that being said, enjoy the next part of the video. Hey everyone, we are at the Diablo Lake here in North Cascades. It's beautiful. We're gonna head for a boat ride, so come along.
That boat tour was awesome, guys, wasn't it? Okay. So, for this park, we stayed at a Harvest Host. You can check out the video right there to see where we stayed. But that gave us access to the Northern Cascades.
Yeah. So after we finished our boat ride, we obviously were like, we have to go up to the overlook to take, the picture with the Cascades in the background and Diablo Lake down at the bottom. And funny thing is, we should have stopped the day before because it was an absolutely beautiful Saturday.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was beautiful outside. Obviously, we weren't the only people who thought it was gorgeous outside. And there was a car rally going on at the overlook.
Yeah, it looked like Fast and Furious up there. So.
Legit. Yep.
And they were racing their cars loudly up to that point.
Yeah, and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, so it was so packed, with people up there checking out the cars and people with their cars parked and hoods up and stuff like that, that you barely at one point could get the truck through.
Yeah, we barely made it through that parking lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was nowhere to park, so we just didn't bother stopping. There was hundreds of people out there gathered, so
yeah,
not really our scene.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that we didn't get that picture, but I definitely recommend that going up there.
Yeah, so after that, we went to, what's the name of the place?
New Halem.
New Halem.
And I apologize if I butchered that. I think that's how you pronounce it, right?
It should definitely be how you pronounce it.
Okay.
All right, so we went to New Halem, and New Halem's a little city that was created by Seattle City Light to build and operate the dams. And so that city is still run by that company. It's one of the few, company cities, I think, in the state, which is really interesting. I'd never seen a company city before, but I guess they were big for logging and things like that. So this is one of those types of cities. It's a cute little laid out place. We had lunch there.
Yeah, there was plenty of places. There's plenty of places for RVs to pull over.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I will say, and there was a great little picnic area where we sat and had lunch. And then if you go across the street, you can actually walk into the town.
Yeah,
there's a nice little visitor center. They've got some sculptures, and you'll see some of that coming up in the video.
Yeah, and then there's a couple cool little hikes. There's a waterfall back behind the power plant. There's a suspension bridge you can take over to this beautiful cedar forest.
Yeah, it's called the Trail of Cedars.
Yep, but again, we don't have video of any of that because...
We have a little bit video. We have video up to the bridge.
Yeah, we have a kid that's afraid of heights, and he was not feeling the suspension bridge that day.
Or hiking.
Because
that's how life goes when you have kids some days.
Yeah, so 3 kids, 5 people, you're not always going to be all on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So we just had to...
Yeah, rather than making it like a worse situation.
Yeah, we just called it quits on that one.
Yeah.
But it looked absolutely gorgeous, and you should definitely check it out when you're there. You can definitely fit it in with the boat tour and visiting the park in a day.
Yep. All right, so take a look at some video from that area.